All right, today we're going to talk about frequency and histograms. So here I've put up here, so frequency of an interval is the number of data values that fall into that. So that's the frequency. A frequency table is basically putting your data into values into intervals that show the frequency. So here's our first example. The number of home runs by batters in a local home run derby are listed below. What is the frequency table that represents this data? And so here's all my data values here. And so I want to find my frequency. So my lowest number is 2. My highest number was 17. I want to break these up into nice even groups. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break them up into groups of 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we want to have them in nice, even items there. So we're going to count how many people were between 2 and 5. So here's my first one. There's a 2, there's a 5, there's a 4. So my frequency is 3. Okay, so I'm just going to cross those out so I don't recount them. Did I miss one?
Yeah.
Yep, and I missed a 3 here. Okay, so there's 4. All right. Now I'm going to look for values 6 through 9. So here's 1. Here's 1. Here's 1. 12, 10. No. So I have.
There's a 7.
Then there's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 again. Okay. So now we're going to look 10 through 13. So this one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. All these are gone. Here's 1. Cross out these. So I have 12. I have 10. I have another 12. So I have 3. And then I'm going to look at 14 through 17. So here's 17. Here's 14. And here's 15. So 1, 2, 3. And there's my frequency table. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at taking a frequency table and creating a histogram. So a histogram is a graph that can display data from a frequency table. You've probably, I don't know, when I was there, we used to call it a bar graph, but it's a histogram. So we're just going to set up our frequency table first. So I pick these items here. When you're picking your frequency, make sure you have a nice rounded value there. So we're going to look at 0 through 5. Okay. So 0 through 5, I'm going to circle that with pink. So there's 1, there's a 5, there's a 0, there's a 3, here's a 4. That's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I didn't miss any. This is supposed to be a 5, not a 15. So there's my 1. So there's 6 here. So this follows your example 2 in your book. Okay. So now I'm going to box out the next ones, 6 through 11 with the orange box. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them. There's 5. Okay. And we're going to put diamonds around 12 through 17. Red diamonds. Looks like I got 3 there. And then any number that doesn't have 1 will be my last one. So there's 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this data here in my frequency table and I'm going to create a histogram. And so I'm going to create it into a graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out how many values there are for 0 through 5. So I'm going to take this information here, 6. I'm going to fill that in. So there's my first bar, my histogram here. I'm going to go 6 through 11. It's 5. So we come here. Here's my next one. I go 3, and then I'm down to 1. And so there would be my histogram or my bar graph there. Okay? Now, so you can create a frequency table. You can take that frequency table and put it into a histogram. Now, the last part where we're going to be looking at is interpreting histograms. So we can have symmetry in histograms, we can have skew, we can have uniform. So if I came in, if I had a histogram that everything was fairly close to the same height, I would call this uniform. Okay, so uniform means that our fluctuation in the amount of frequency is very, very small. They're almost all going to be the same, or they might all be the same. Okay, so if I am here, so this we would call symmetric. So symmetric means that as I either go up or I go down, it's going to look about the same on each side. There's not going to be a lot of difference. There's going to either be a peak or a valley, and they're all going to be kind of the same. You could kind of pick a middle part and fold that over onto it. It would be symmetric. Okay? And then I would have skew. So I might have some that kind of looks like this, where we kind of go up high on one part and then drop down. This would be skew. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to finish up kind of looking at interpreting histograms, determining whether it is a symmetric, uniform, or skew, and then we're going to talk lastly about cumulative frequency. All right. So here we're going to look at a graph, and let's say I have and here's my histogram here, a nice little histogram. So is this uniform? Well, not really, because we have a lot of different changes here. So it's not uniform. Is it symmetric? Does it have the same kind of peak on each side of the highest value? No. So this one is skewed. As you can kind of see that it's kind of off center, it's kind of pushed to the side there. So you should be able to look at a histogram, determine whether it's uniform, symmetric, or skewed. The last thing we're going to talk about is cumulative frequency table. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our set of data, and we're going to create a frequency table. And the cumulative frequency table is taking its values and all the previous values. Okay? So if I were to come here, and I'm going to put these data values in order because it's easier for me to kind of see. In your book, they're not going to be in order. All right, so 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to create a frequency table here of every 2. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11. And we're just going to kind of create this frequency table here. So this will be the frequency. And then we're going to create another column over here that is going to be our cumulative frequency. Okay, so cumulative frequency. We have our nice little table here. I kind of And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to count my 0 to 1. So 0, 1, 2, so here's 3. My cumulative now is that frequency plus all the previous frequencies. So it's just 3. So now I look at 2 and 3. Well, 2, 3, there's only 2 of them. So now my cumulative frequency is 5. Okay, so I'm taking all of this frequency plus the previous frequencies. Okay, so for 5, this is 2 again. Okay, so this is 5 plus 2, which is 7. 6 and 7, I only have 1, so my cumulative now is 8, so it's the addition of all these frequencies together. 8 through 9 is 3, my cumulative is 11. 10, 11, here's 2, my cumulative is 13. So your very last one should be all of the information added together. So that's frequency tables and histograms.